Mac is back. Mac is back, guys. As you know, and if you don't know, Mac has been my best friend since I was 6 years old. We raced in the playground. I beat him, and ever since then, we became best friends.
Until obviously, of course, last year, Logan infamously bullied him off the show.
Well, I never mentioned he was on the show again. Still building up context, but let me know when you want to take this over. And then he came on the podcast, Impaulsive. We had him on for about 100+ episodes, right? And then Mike bullied him off the show. And now
wait, was
back.
that really a thing? Did you guys get in a tiff on the show?
A little bit, yeah.
What would you guys tiff about? I get
it's hard to be the third person on a podcast with two very vocal main hosts.
I feel you. When I was on the podcast, you were such a great host to me. I remember you respected me. You wanted me to speak. You spoke at right times. Unlike this fuck over here.
Damn, the balls on this guy.
No, because he's...
How you been, Mac?
I'm good. I just went on a good run with my new friend Mike
Posner from the last episode, right? Or
next episode, Mike Posner. Yeah.
Oh, he was here in the building and asked me if I want to go for a run. So we went for a little run. I've been hanging out in Puerto Rico, helping this tall blonde kid on an art project that he just recently started. Living life, doing my thing, quiet, chilling out.
What about your own crafts? The stuff that you're doing, painting, writing, poetry, that kind of stuff. Is that still cooking?
Yeah. Did you ever get that place that you wanted to get for your art?
Yeah, I rented a giant warehouse for a while. It was pretty cool. Didn't ultimately work out because I didn't need all that space. You'd think you want this grand, ultimate creation warehouse, but then you find out that you're only working on one small table. I stopped making large paintings, went to smaller stuff, and started working more on some tech stuff. And that's more computer focused as opposed to art centric. And I only need one laptop and I can travel the world with that. So,
any learnings from when you were off the podcast and now? Like
a ton.
It's been about a year and a half. We've all had a lot of self-growth.
Yeah.
And learnings and knowledge.
Yeah, I was actually just talking with Mike about this. You get to LA and me being ultimately and abruptly thrust into a massive Hollywood household with a maid, a chef, 7 friends, 10 people always in the house. And then leaving that to go to a one-person household where it's me taking care of all my stuff. I was a mess. I was a slob. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't working out. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't focused, which I found was a product of like helping other people with their little projects as I could. And then when I had so much self-focused time, I didn't know what to do with all of it.
Yeah.
And what I found was I need to use that time to take care of my space because I was an absolute wreck and I had a lot of luxuries. My ego became inflated and it wasn't my personal ownership of those things. So then I got to go back home, humble myself heavily, or get humbled, I would say, by a cold Cleveland winter. And we all go through the dark moments, right? Especially on gray days. So have a couple dark days every now and again during the winter times. Make great art from that. Pain, first 4 letters of painting.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, it's like a painting.
Yeah.
Paint.
I never even thought about that.
No, I'm a word guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I started writing more. So now I'm a poet mostly. And other things I learned, you got to stay focused on your physical. Otherwise, your mental will start to deteriorate. Mike, I know you're big on that one. Mm-hmm. And make sure you appreciate every moment of beautiful things that other people have worked very hard for that have come into your life by a product of someone else achieving them.
I love all of that.
That's dope. That's really cool.
That's actually sick.
Yep.
That's a lot of growth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
There's a lot of growth.
What are you bringing to the table?
Holy shit. Man, I haven't even thought about it from that perspective.
You're a good freestyler too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
you are.
We have so
very,
much
very
fun.
good
We
at
have
words.
so much fun. He's a wordsmith.
Yeah,
he's a wordsmith. Make no mistake.
Hey man, so when you got bullied on the podcast, how did you get out of that?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Well, I left.
Well, I can't do that now.
No, it's remember that it's good to be patient and listen, and that anyone that is willing to respect your thoughts in the conversation will also be willing to listen to what you have to say.
Awesome. Thanks for making that real.
We take
I feel bad.
no, a lot of time went by since that happened. I've had time to process a lot of who I was at the time too. And it was, you know, obviously we've already talked about this off show. I think we've even talked about it on show before, but it was just a very different time. I obviously was going through my own struggles with, you know, growth and ego and a lot of the shit. And the show itself was, dude, honestly, it was just a more fiery place at the time. I think me and you,
it was the middle of quarantine. We had all been living together for the past, how long? 6 months, where no one was leaving the house doing anything other than sitting on top of each other.
And I think like I don't want to make excuses. I've told you before, you know, I said things on the show that I still feel bad about, and I'm sorry for, and I am sorry, obviously, when I told you that.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah, I know now, obviously, but I think it was just, you know, it was a different show. It was a growth phase of the show, and I think, you know, we've gone through so many different versions of the show and so many different like energy styles that I think, you know, now we're at the one that I personally like the best, you know, which is relaxed on the couches. We're hanging out. We're talking about things that we all like to talk about. And it was a different time.
I think you've grown a lot in the past year. Thank you. I don't know if it's when you like had that slip up on that podcast, but I'm being serious. Like when that whole situation happened. Yeah. But me, Jessica, Reed, and Belle were talking about it at our house. The past like month, you've always been checking in to see what I'm doing, if we're planning things, because a lot of like coordination stuff have been slipping up, and you've been looking out for me, making sure I'm booked, making sure I'm like doing all that thing. So you went from, and I mean this full-heartedly, you went from only caring about yourself and what you need to get done around you to starting to look around to make sure people around you need some help. And I really appreciate that. It shows a lot.
Thanks, Georgie. Appreciate that too.